And you know, our guy's life are about to be interrupted with the tears coming in.
Well, and that's my teaching knitting device, is that that's how I'm going to open it, with starting with many people in the disability community have been working to try to help people regarding the tears. This is going to be a big change.
So, are we all good running with Linda's?
Yeah.
Well, I am, because it means less work for me.
And if I hear you right, where the text would be 1-8, X is 1-8?
Yeah, oh yeah,
There's
absolutely.
a new king?
Yeah.
And in Florida, there's a new governor.
Yep.
I mean, it does, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, I don't like it when God interrupts my plans. And this was something they had no control over, the children of Israel. They had no control over this. Our guys don't have any control over what's happening in their lives at this point.
And I guess I would
It
make
could mean big changes.
I would probably, well, not necessarily make the distinction, but I would be careful in that there are times when God interrupts our plans, interrupts our lives. This isn't one of those times. This is a time when life gets interrupted, because that's what happens
Interrupted
in life.
our lives, yes. Yeah.
God, there's plenty of examples in Scripture where God interrupted someone's life.
Yeah, that's
and I think
true.
that's His call.
You're
and
right.
And I probably would, I would
Yeah.
not
I
make
don't
that
know.
one.
I don't know. I'm not sure God meant for these Egyptians to, I mean, for these Israelites to stay in Egypt so long. And maybe He had to interrupt things to get them to finally move. So I don't know.
That's true.
I don't
Since
know.
the Scripture doesn't say that, I do think that that's an arguable point, a side point, but that's not blatantly.
Well, I think there was significance in.
It's an Armenian Calvinist thing
When-
coming, you know.
Well, I think there was
When
that.
Saul was knocked off his horse,
Uh-huh.
that was definitely God interrupting his life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There was no mistake about that. I think it's arguable here that God had a plan for Israel and what He was going to do with them.
And that He was using men to make that plan happen.
Right, in that the Jews went from having a kind of a favored status
Yeah.
and a new leadership to an unfavored status. And, you know, Governor Bush, you know, he kind of liked the DD population. He made a lot of things happen.
That's right.
And he came every year to the annual event in Orlando, and a new governor came in. And,
Poured lots of money into.
you know, now at the same time, there was a financial crisis we're having in Florida.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're at a different reality with the change of our leadership. And so there's some real parallels
Yes.
for our
Yeah.
folks.
Yeah.
I do think, though, that all that being said, you know, working my theme back in here, Moses' mother did all she could do.
Yes.
You know, she made a basket. She put it in the water, probably near to where it float. You know, she hit him before he made the basket. You know, she did what she could do, and that a lot of times our folks are so used to everything happening for them that they can understand that they need to do all they can do, but then to trust God.
Yes. And God interrupted when, of course, we aren't there, but you know, well, we are there when Pharaoh's daughter saw him and said, "This is going to be my baby. I'm going to raise him as my child." I think that was when definitely God interrupted in the situation.
Sure.
And said, "Okay, this is you know, this is a miracle."